Hey, Grant from Screen Rant.
Hi, Grant.
Hello,
Grant from
everybody.
Screen Rant.
I know it's great that it rhymes. So Lock and Key season two is such a fun and exciting expansion on what season one already was. What were some of the biggest creative challenges for you both coming into this season for each of your characters? Darby, if you'd like to start, and then Connor.
Creative challenges. I'd say one for my character, Nina Locke, was a new love interest is introduced this season. And there was an initial feeling of like, how do I seamlessly move from season one's hardcore grief and all of the different intricacies of that into organically, finding this headspace where Nina is suddenly her head's turned by another person, and that she's in a space where she is ready to meet someone, and and the grief for Nina is not done in season two. So how to sort of combine the two, how to thread the two together, so that it's so that it's grounded and that it actually feels like it works. Brendan Hines, who plays Josh Bennett, is a fantastic actor. I had a fantastic time with him. So, that always makes it easy when you have a natural chemistry with someone, though. But I'd say that was probably the biggest challenge.
I realized when we started shooting season two, how much of Tyler in season one was propelled by this feeling of loss and guilt that he carried with him so heavily. And that it was so present, and it colored so much of who he was, that to start season two without a lot of that, in a much lighter and warmer and more relaxed place, was actually weirdly challenging. Because it's like, as the season goes on, tension grows and suddenly things explode and things become much more intense and much darker again. But there's this window at the beginning where things seem to be going well. And I always find it's kind of counterintuitive maybe, but I always find the hardest scenes as an actor are scenes where you're doing okay because you're not fighting against anything, and I think it took me a moment to find my footing at the beginning of season two to feel how Tyler was when he wasn't fighting against something. So that was an interesting challenge.
So then once you did start fighting things, because this season has quite some
yes,
awesome
then it
action.
changed.
Yeah. This season does have quite some exciting action set pieces, and obviously more magic. I mean, what was that like for you, getting to experience a lot of that firsthand and, on a larger scale in comparison to the first season?
I mean, it's just fun to, get dragged around rooms on wires we have a sequence where we get chased by a giant spider, and shockingly there was no giant spider. So we had a man with like a green leotard holding what looked like one half of a green bean over his head with a face mask on because of COVID, chasing us through the house. And it's like, if you can't find joy in that, in a man crouching on the ground waving a bean at you, it's like, then you have a cold and dead heart, I think. So it's like it's a really fun thing to show up to work and get to do.
So for my next question for Connor again, for this season, we not only see you start to grow up in terms of mature wise, but also in age, which, as we well know, is very problematic for remembering magic. I mean, what is
this
that
season?
like?
This season, Tyler turned 67. It's a shocking plot twist.
I didn't see that coming.
No, yeah, I know. You won't guess how we get there, but
it's a long season.
Yeah, it's a long season. No, I mean, when we meet Tyler at the beginning of season one, he's already 17. He's already on the cusp of being an adult, and what that means doesn't really hit him until the beginning of season two, when he starts to process the fact that adults don't remember magic. I mean, magic slips right off them. And he realizes how much of who he is and the progress that he's made and what he cares about now is because of magic, and he starts to worry what he'll lose if these memories go away. So he becomes really, really focused on finding a way to keep them, and it almost becomes a larger thing for him about finding a way to hold on to this happiness that he's created here with his family. So that's really his drive through most of season 2.
And it's a very moving arc to watch.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
So Darby, for you then, what is it like, having to act like you're not seeing all of this magic occur right in front of you and then immediately forget it, seconds later? What is that like for you from an actor's perspective, having to walk that line?
Well, it's something that I think we found in season 1, and there were a lot of discussions around what does that look like, and is there a specific moment or reaction or head jerk or whatever. And once we found the language in season 2, in season 1, it was really it was established, and so there are a number of characters who go through that riffling effect in season 2, as well as there's like a camera effect that was added to really sort of help the audience show what happened. So it's a combination of trusting that, knowing that effect's going to be added, but also we, like I said, we just sort of figured out like what that amnesia looks like. I think it's a little bit different for each character, but I became familiar with it in season 1, right in the pilot, after Nina goes through the mirror and Tyler saves her, and she comes out on the other end having almost lost her life and all of that, and then completely forgets and goes back to doing laundry.
It's scary thinking that could be a reality with magic when you grow up. But you portray it so well. All the adults portray it so well. And Connor, I'm hoping that when season 3 comes back around, that you're not quick to forget it. But I guess we'll see when it gets to that. Thank you both so much for taking the time to chat with me, though. I really do appreciate it. I think season 2 is an absolute blast, and people are going to love it.